Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am actually getting ready to film a video for you guys, and that video is all around goal setting for 2025. But I thought, since I'm getting ready, why not kill two birds with one stone? So I recently went on a trip to Belgium where I was checking out their Christmas markets there. So I thought, whilst I'm getting ready, let's chat all about my experience of Christmas markets in Belgium, and I can also try to bring a little Christmas vibe to the channel. It was my first time visiting Belgium, so I will be telling you my first impressions. There's also a funny story attached to that, so stay tuned. Also tell you about some other Christmas markets that I've been to, so whenever you're watching this, it may be useful if you're thinking about attending. One thing I will say is it was totally different to what I expected, but you'll have to stay tuned until the end to figure out if that is good or bad. Okay, so let's get into today's video. So, for some context, I flew from Manchester Airport to Charleroi in Brussels. I think that's how you say it. So when we arrived, I was in the queue complaining basically because I'm still not very happy about Brexit. And I hate now that when you go anywhere in Europe, you're having to join this queue that's like non-EU passports and all of this. So I was in the queue and it was taking much longer than usual. I could hear the customs officers asking everyone, why are you visiting Belgium and all of this? And it's just like, oh, like this was never a thing before, so it's so annoying. So I was moaning about that and I was in the queue for ages. Anyway, so I get to the front of the queue and the customs officer asks me the same thing. So he's like, what's the purpose of your trip to Belgium? So I was like, oh, I was there for my birthday. So I went like a few days before my birthday. So I was like, oh, I'm here to celebrate my birthday and to check out the Christmas market and blah, blah, blah. So I expected him to, you know, maybe offer some recommendations or to ask me more about my specific plans or something. This guy looks at my passport, verifies that my birthday is indeed in a couple of days, and proceeds to sing at the top of his voice, happy birthday to me in the middle of the immigration hall. Is that what you call it? So everybody, of course, everybody stops. Our flight was not the only one that landed around that time. So there were hundreds of passengers. Everyone starts looking at me. All the other like 10, 12 customs officers all stopped. We're all looking, all cheering. I was mortified. If you know me, you know, like I hate having all eyes on me. I hate it. And so of course, everybody was staring at me, people were cheering, and so it was sweet. Of course it was sweet, but I was also mortified. So one thing I was happy about was that at least I looked good, right? Because you know what it's like. Sometimes you're taking an early flight and you do the bare minimum, right? So no makeup, nothing. But on this occasion, I actually looked quite put together. So I was quite happy about that because, like I say, all eyes were on me at some point. So yeah, this guy proceeded to serenade me in the immigration hall, and he got to the end of like the happy birthday and I thought, okay, he's done, but he carried on singing, did another verse, and you know, they have the mic. So of course, like he was really projecting because like he was loud anyway. So that was my first impression of Belgium, which definitely was a nice welcome. I've definitely been to countries and had more of a hostile reception. So that was very, very sweet. It was really nice. It really set the tone for the rest of the trip because I was like, oh, that was so lovely. I bet people here are nice because customs officers can be kind of not the nicest people. So I thought that was really lovely. And it's surprising because I was paying attention to him beforehand because he seemed to be giving people a difficult time. And so when I got to the front of the queue and I realized I was going to him, I was kind of like, oh, here we go. And so when he asked me like, why are you here and stuff, I was just expecting like a load more questions. So I was completely caught off guard. Lovely first impression. If this is your first time seeing me, hi, my name is Regine. I love making making content all around how you can raise your self-awareness to elevate your life. I also do lifestyle videos where I share some of my personal up levels. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss a video. And by the way, I have planned videos all the way until Easter. So we have lots of exciting things coming up. I will be touching on loads of different topics, from goal setting to spirituality, and also a big life change that I am going through at the moment. And that's going to be its very own series. So lots of exciting things to come. So definitely subscribe, and let's get back into the video. Okay, so I said I would be comparing a few Christmas markets. The markets that I will be comparing are Leicester. Obviously, I used to live in Leicester. They have a very small Christmas market. Birmingham, I used to go to quite regularly. Very good Christmas market. Winter Wonderland, obviously in London, still one of my favorites. But I've also been to Christmas markets in Oslo, in Tallinn, in Estonia, in Helsinki. That was nice, but I think really small compared to the others. I think I was expecting a little bit more, especially with it being the capital. Where else have I been? I've been to Christmas market in Lake Como, which was also very good, but again, very small. I think that's it, apart from obviously recently Brussels and Bruges Christmas markets, which I have to say are definitely up there in my favorites. Okay, so I've kind of mentioned my thoughts on Leicester, Como, Helsinki. I will group those three together because, like I say, I think they're nice, but especially, okay, Leicester that's not worth traveling to for a Christmas market. It's nice if you live there or if you live close by and you just want a little bit of that like festive cheer, but I wouldn't recommend sort of traveling or going out of your way for it. Now, let's go with Helsinki. So I think there are better places that you could go to experience Christmas markets.
That's the thing with having boys as well, they're so like
rambunctious.
yeah, and they just think it's fine.
Now, if you're going to Helsinki for other reasons, then fair enough. But again, I wouldn't recommend going there for the Christmas markets. I think if you did that, you would probably find it a little bit underwhelming. So just something to bear in mind. Like I said, there was nothing wrong with it. I was there last year actually for my birthday. So we were doing lots of other things. It wasn't sort of the main point of the trip. And so we enjoyed it and we would go again. But I think if I was going somewhere purely for Christmas markets, it wouldn't be the top of my list. Next one is Lake Como in Italy. So again, very similar to Helsinki. There is a Christmas vibe. It's very nice. It was very festive. Again, very small. I don't remember that much about it actually. I just remember like a few stalls, you know, all the kind of food you would expect. There was definitely a little buzz around the place. But of course, when you go to Lake Como, the main thing that you're there for is the lake. And so we spent more time dining on the lake, exploring. So again, I would 100% recommend Lake Como. It's one of my favorite places. I actually would love to get married somewhere like Lake Como. So I loved it, but it's not at the top of my list in terms of Christmas markets. I'm kind of going in order from least favorite to the best. The next one, I would probably say Birmingham. Even though Birmingham is not like a popular place like Lake Como, for instance, in terms of Christmas market though, like that's the one I've been to the most. And maybe it's because that was like also the first one, but I've always had a good time at the Birmingham Christmas markets. There's lots of variety in food. There's always like a good atmosphere. I think loads of people sort of descend on Birmingham because it's like in the middle of the country. And so if you're not going all the way down to London, for instance, it's kind of the next best thing, you know? You're guaranteed to have a good time. So there's always like a good buzz. So really enjoy Birmingham. If you're in the UK around Christmas time and you're not in London, I would recommend the Christmas market in Birmingham.
So guys, I'm just interrupting this because as I was editing, I totally forgot that I missed one of my favorite Christmas markets, Nottingham. So I just wanted to add this in because I really think Nottingham Christmas market is worth visiting. I still don't think it is as impressive as Birmingham, purely because Birmingham's Christmas market is slightly bigger, but Nottingham is still worth visiting, and they also have an ice rink, so there's lots to do. So definitely add Nottingham's Christmas market to your list if you are in the UK.
But if you are in London, absolutely go to Winter Wonderland. That was a very good one. I was there for my 21st birthday. And so whilst we were there, we just checked out Winter Wonderland and it was magical. Really, really liked it. That was a long time ago. So I don't know if it's changed, but it was really good. Lots of rides and things, you know, many more options in terms of food. It's bigger, it's more spaced out. You know, you could spend a lot of time there. So definitely recommend Winter Wonderland in London as like one of my top Christmas markets. It definitely doesn't disappoint. Now, Oslo. So I really did like the Christmas markets in Oslo. Nowhere near as big as London, but very festive. And I think they just had some different elements that I hadn't seen before. I don't know if I'm biased just because I really liked that trip, why it's like ranking higher in my mind. It was also another birthday trip. So I tend to go to Christmas markets around my birthday, but it was really, really nice. And if you haven't been to Oslo, it's on the water. So it's also just different in that sense. I would definitely recommend, and I would say it's worth the trip, both for the market and for Oslo. So the next one is Tallinn. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but Tallinn in Estonia. So we went there last year when we went to Helsinki, my cousin and I, another birthday trip. So we went to Helsinki, we took the ferry across.
Who is happy to assist you. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the nicest journey to Tallinn.
Went to Tallinn for the day, and actually we regretted spending more time in Helsinki than we did in Tallinn because it was just such a pretty city. They had lots of other things going on that you don't find at other Christmas markets. So they had lots of activities for kids. There was a whole production on a stage. So that was quite good. So I think if you're going like with a family, I think Tallinn is a very good option. But also the town is so pretty. So it's like, it's so nice to just like wander off, like leave the market, but kind of wander off down the streets and stuff. They have great restaurants. And yeah, it was very nice, very walkable. One thing they also had was some very interesting gifts. I did buy some really nice gifts at that Christmas market. And typically, I don't think I've ever bought gifts at Christmas markets before. I would typically go for the mulled wine, food, just the sort of festive vibe. But I found that they had lots of nice little things at the market in Tallinn, and I bought quite a bit actual Christmas gifts. So that was really nice. So I think if you're looking for sort of an all-rounder, Tallinn is very good for that. Okay, so now that brings us to Belgium. So I am struggling to decide which I preferred, Bruges or Brussels. So I will kind of tell you a little bit about both, but basically I would recommend both of them. Their Christmas markets are certainly worth going to. So Christmas markets in Brussels, definitely one of my favorite. I think if I were to travel somewhere again for the Christmas markets, it would be Belgium. Let's start with Brussels. So that was the first one that I went to. I absolutely loved the market in Brussels. There were so many things to choose from. I actually found a seafood stall. So comment below if you have ever found that at a Christmas market, because I haven't seen that before and I've been to, like I say, a few. So that was a really welcome surprise. We spent lots of time at that one actually, just because it was different. They had like oysters and champagne. So we had some of that. They had escargot as well, which isn't seafood, but they were doing that at the seafood stand. They also had calamari, shrimp, where they cook it to order in front of you. They had this soup as well, like a fish soup, which of course is absolutely freezing. So that's like really nice to keep you warm. So yeah, I've never seen a seafood stand before. So that was lovely. They had all the usual food stands. The beer was very good. Obviously, Belgian beer is very good. I'm not much of a beer drinker, so I didn't expect much, but of course I wanted to try some. And I ended up having quite a lot of beer, and every single one I tried was like better than the next. And of course, if you're having something like a bratwurst, it's just like perfect with it, right? Of course, there was lots of chocolate.
Can I help you, please?
Loads and loads and loads and loads of options for chocolates and crepes and waffles, beignets they had. I think they called them something else, but they had lots of beignets, which I stuffed my face with. I was wearing a black coat and I ended up with like icing sugar just all down me because I just couldn't, you can't control it. But the beignets were really, really nice. I even took some home and had them with my coffee the next morning. So yeah, everyone was friendly, the vibe was good, but also there was more to it. So of course, you know, you're in the middle of Brussels, so just around the corner, you have the main square, Le Grand Place, I think it's called.
This is all for YouTube.
It was nice to kind of like grab a drink. So we got some mulled wine, went to Le Grand Place, and we could watch the light show. So that was really magical. That felt really special, actually. The music was amazing. And obviously that's not something you have at other Christmas markets. So that makes it unique in itself. Yeah, now that I'm talking about it, I think maybe the Brussels one just about beats Bruges. Definitely worth traveling to, I would say. And I don't think I'm the only one who thought that, because like I said, when I was in the airport, the immigration officers were asking people, you know, why are you coming? And everyone was saying they were coming for the Christmas markets. So, you know, it's up there. Okay, so now we're on to Bruges. Now Bruges, it's really difficult to decide which I prefer. I definitely prefer Bruges as a city over Brussels. Hands down, 100%, no debate. I was a little bit disappointed with Brussels as a city, not the Christmas market and not the Grand Place, but Bruges, I think, has all of the things that Brussels has, but then it has so much more, right? So it has the canals, it's very medieval, it's like a very charming city. It reminds me a little bit of Eastern Europe. It just has a whole different vibe. And again, so many chocolate shops. Yeah, if you're a chocolate lover, like, it's chocolate heaven. I'm not much of a chocolate lover, so I don't even think I had any chocolate, honestly. But the options, I definitely brought some back as gifts. The options are incredible. They had like an ice rink, and then like it was by the water. There's like an old building that looks like a castle. They had really nice Belgian fries, of course. Again, great beer. In Bruges also, there are lots of different Christmas markets. So there are like loads of different ones all around the city. So as you're walking around, I think they call them marketplaces. So there are loads of different marketplaces, and they all have their own mini Christmas market. There's also another square that's similar to the one in Brussels, but obviously not as grand. So yeah, I would recommend going to both. So that is it. That is the end of the video. That's the end of my roundup of Christmas markets that I've been to. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video all around goal setting for 2025. I will be filming that after this. So yeah, thank you again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.